All right, Robert Drury back again on my quest to get to 2200. I am currently at 2107, and let's see if we can get a quick game. Okay, I'm playing Mark Sugar Mountain, and he's got the white pieces. I will play b6, which is technically an Owen's defense. Bishop to b7. All right, so now once he brings us, I consider this the main line when I'm playing this. So once I see the bishop there, I will play g6, and with the possibility of pushing. But he's going for the big center, so let's attack the pawn. Okay, so now if I go here, pushes, I mean, he's just going to defend. So what I will do is I will push the pawn, knight's coming around, and possibility of pushing the other pawn and breaking up his three pawns. However, he could very well play, now he does not. All right, so he didn't play the pawn up, so I will immediately break the center up, and I see this 90% of the time. They push the pawn to block in my bishop. I will just continue developing into the hippo. Pawn will come here. Other pawn may come up. I've even got this potential for this push. But let's see. What's he going to do? Okay, so he does not want me to get too much over here on the king side. He's going to go ahead and attack. I have not castled yet, so may not be an issue, but we will see. Okay, strong possibility he's going to castle long. So what I'm going to do is I will go ahead and prepare for the queen side myself. This keeps the knight out. Right now I can't push. Well, I could castle then push. But I'm trying to wait on him and see what's his plan. I can also, if I come in here with the knight, he's going to push. And then what am I going to do? Take. I mean, it gets a little dicey. Let's see. If I come in here, I'm hitting the pawn. He pushes. I take. Okay, so okay. Come in here. He pushes. I take. And what's he going to do? Take with the bishop. Oh, it gets interesting. All right, what's my other option? Come in here. He takes, I take. What I want to do? All right, let's go back to this. Comes in, he pushes. Take. He takes. Like that. Let's tell you what, let's just take this. If he wants to trade the bishop off, we'll trade the bishop off. I'll take back this way and open up a file over here to possibly attack. I may even bring if he doesn't take, I'll bring the bishop down and hit the pawn over here. Let's see. Take the knight off. I don't know about that. That's a bad, or sorry, the bishop. It's a bad bishop. But at the same time, if I take the bishop off and bring my other bishop down, then this, I may be able to get this push in. And of course, if he does either one of these moves, I'll just push the other direction. Okay, so now here's the other thing. He very well could sack a piece here. I've seen this, seen it over and over. If he sacks, I'm going to push. Then he's probably going to push a pawn down the board on me. Uh, okay. Let's see now. Oh, this is gonna. Okay, push. And eventually, I'm gonna run out of squares. I'm gonna go here. I'm hitting the pawn, and I will castle long. Castle long, and then we will see where we go from here. I may even come in here. Well, I can't come in there now. He's got his own opinion about what's going to take place. All right, so what I do? Take this way. This is still, then push. Or did I just take this way? Oh my. All right, what am I going to do? He's not. This is guard. Let's do this. Let's keep my queenside pawns all intact here, and I can actually come here. King come over, bishop come down. This is always protected. All right. So I'll check my time. He's gonna sack. Wow. He's gonna lose his queen. All right. Okay, let's. I mean, what's he gonna do? Oh, he's okay. So he's gonna come here, try to get my queen. Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's coming in. He thinks he's gonna get my queen. I'm not gonna fall for that. Now I'm threatening here with the check. Okay, let's get the bishop off the board. I'm actually quite surprised he's still playing. I would assume that he would have given up. All right, let's do this. Let's take him off. I'm up. I give the exchange back. I'll lose exchange rather, and I will just let's see. I got this and one in a rook. He could come here and just kind of try to start plowing down the board on me. Oh my gracious. All right, here's what I'll do. I will come here. I'm attacking here. I'm attacking here. If he comes here, I'm going to take. He takes back, take. All right. Let's do this. That cuts all this shenanigans out of the pawns marching down the board on me. This guy's not going anywhere. I still got this. All right. Okay. And now I'm hitting here. He's not pushing here. All right. Maybe he is going to push there. All right, let's just do this. And he can't push, and I will come back here and we will block that once and for all. Could just come in here also. Or maybe I just come over here. I mean, to be quite honest, I'm a little surprised he's still playing. Okay. Come over here. All right, he resigned. All right, let's do a quick game review. All right, 87.1 to 77.4, 2400 to 1700. Okay, let's take a look at the game in itself. All right, he's going E4. I'm starting off with an Owens, which is B6. My bishop's coming up. And like I said, when I see the bishop here, and I consider this the main line, I will push my G pawn with the possibility of pushing the F5 pawn, depending on what he does. There is one line where you end up winning a rook over here, and he gets an attack going, and it can get quite tricky. But if black plays it correctly, then he should win. And I've played it incorrectly and correctly both. So hopefully I'll start playing it more correctly all the time. All right, so there's my G pawn. All right, so instead he's going for the big center. 3 pawns. I'm thinking he's going to end up pushing this pawn. He does not in this game. So I bring my bishop up, and he's going to protect. And now the engine's just like C5. To me, that's a little bit premature for my taste. So I'm just continuing with my Hippo-ish setup. And in this situation, this is kind of like an English. So I will bring a knight here and push, and plan on pushing this pawn to break up the center. I can also push this pawn, but either way it goes, anytime you see a 3 or 4 pawn center, you need to break it up fairly early. All right, so there he goes with the knight. My knight comes around, his knight. So now I know he's just doing 3 pawns, so I can push. I've already got my bishop lined up to protect, and 90% of the time, they are going to push this pawn. Let's see the engine. Let's see, the engine says castle. It also likes d5, which is pushing the pawn. And now, the pawn push looks really good because now all of a sudden, what is my light squared bishop doing? But in the Hippo, the light square bishop will come back this direction and go down this diagonal. And a lot of times it will support the F5 push. All right, so my knight comes around. Once again, this will support the F5 push, but he goes H4. He's going to come down the board. We're not going to allow that. So we go H6. If he pushes, now we will push up a square. And he gets both of them. Now, I debated on this move. But I thought, if he pushes, I can take back. He can take back with I just didn't like the tension that will be involved afterwards. So I go the second route, which is knight to c5. And apparently those were the 2 moves I was considering, and it looks like those are the top 2 moves, with the third move is bishop to c8, which is what I had discussed and on the previous move. All right, so I go ahead. Actually, I didn't play the knight yet. I went ahead and pushed the pawn to keep the knight out. And now he's preparing this diagonal, and I assume that he's going to castle long. I go ahead and play the knight. I'm thinking if he takes, I can take back, get an open diagonal, and he ends up taking, but I take the other direction. And he pushes first. And now, let's see, the engine actually liked black knight takes. However, I just went ahead and pushed. And there he goes, he castled long. Engine still likes knight takes the bishop. Bishop's a bad bishop, but I didn't take it. Instead, I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to castle long. So I bring my queen up, and I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to castle long. Okay, and I was also hitting this pawn. So he defends, and now I got my long castle in, and you look at the valuation, and it's plus 1.93 for white. However, it's just a hard position for white to break through in. And he takes my knight, and I'm like, all right, so which way did I take back? Did I take the D? Take the B? Usually it says capture towards the center. I chose to take the D because I wanted to keep my pawns intact on the king, or where my king is castled. And that engine actually liked that the best. And now he sacks. And I swear, this is just amazing to me how many players will sack a piece. They love sacking the knights against the Hippo. The problem with this is you can't take back. And players miss this. Takes back, and I just win the queen. All right, so he takes, I take, and at this point he's going to play on, and he's going to push down the board. All right, we'll back up. He's pushing. All right, so now I'm going to just block. I'm going to block. He can't get in here on this, and I assumed that he would do this and try to play the same trick on me that I played on him, but I'm not having that. Move my king away. He comes in, and there we go. Now we're hitting here. So he's going to target him, and at the same time his rook protects the pawn. So let's get the bishop off the board, and he's just throwing pieces down the board. Just take it. He brings the knight in. He's trying to get counterplay, and he just pushed the pawn in order to be able to get this knight in. But you know what? Just take the knight off the board. You're up material. There's no point in being too greedy. All right, take, and now I can bring my knight out. And basically, he's got some pawns over here trying to roll them down the board, but they're not going anywhere. All right, I'm coming this way. I'm going to hit this pawn. I'm going to hit that pawn. And he just wastes the move. All right, let's take this pawn off the board because now he only has two pawns rolling down the board. All right, he comes over with this rook. I take the other pawn off the board. All right, now he's going to push him down the board, but let's just go back in. And at this point, he resigned because he's down too much material. But with that, I will see you on the next video.